All right, everybody, welcome back into another episode of Fantasy NFL Today, produced by Sports Ethos. You can follow us on Twitter at at Fantasy. What is it? It's at Ethos Fantasy NFL. There it is.
Yes.
I'm your host, Anthony Quaranta. You can follow me at AQ Fresh. I'm joined by Brian Shade. You can follow him at Shade_Fantasy. Brian, how are you?
I am doing well. Actually, want to surprise you with something. I do trivia on
Ooh,
Wednesdays, and I was definitely stumped by this.
okay.
This was the only sports question. Do you know who, other than the Ravens, Buccaneers, and Jets, have never lost a Super Bowl? There's one other team. So they've won a Super Bowl and also never lost.
Right. So you can't go with the Cardinals who have never
Yeah.
never been to it, or like the Bills who have lost them all.
Yep.
Okay, so oh boy, I know the Giants have lost a couple. Um
That's who I put. I got this wrong.
yeah, the Giants lost. They lost two of them, I think. I am I'm gonna take a while. I'm gonna take a guess. I'm gonna say maybe Washington. I know they won one, but I don't know if they've lost a Super Bowl.
They have.
Okay.
I'll give you one more guess.
Okay, one more guess, one more guess. It's got to be a random team. Is it the Chiefs?
No, it is the Saints. They're 1-0.
That makes sense. Yeah, they only won the Katrina year with Drew Brees. Now that you
Yeah.
mentioned that, 'cause that was a big deal. It was like the first Super Bowl they made after the city got destroyed. The New Orleans Saints. Okay, it might have taken me a while to get that one. They
Yeah,
did.
we were between the Giants and the Colts. And it turns out
Okay,
the Saints beat the Colts,
they did.
which we obviously weren't remembering. So,
No, not at the moment.
yeah,
Um, so the Saints have never lost a Super 1-0. Hey,
yeah,
it's good to be 100%.
it is.
There's your fun fact for the day. We are gonna go ahead and do a best ball draft. We're gonna go ahead and jump in here now, see if we can sneak in two. And we'll just keep the conversation moving from there. Brian, I think you were gonna join the drafts today as well.
Yep, you're in the puppy three.
Yep, puppy three. It's about what is it? It's like half full. Yeah, a little more than half full. Let me know whenever you're ready to hit enter, and we'll go ahead and see if we can get in the same
I
room.
got it up. So,
All right. We'll hit enter in 3, 2, 1. And then confirm. Oh, hang on. Couldn't detect my location.
I got the same thing.
That's strange. Let me try this again. All right. Let me know when you're ready.
I'm going over to it. I'm ready again.
All right. We'll do it in 3, 2, 1. Confirm. No, that's strange. It will not let me. Let me try to. That's
I had the same
unfortunate.
thing. So,
Okay. So I'm glad it's at least not just me. I'm going to try to close out the window and try to open it again. I haven't had this happen to me before. Brian, you've been doing a couple more drafts on Underdog. I think you were talking to me about. Is that correct? Since our last stream.
yeah, yeah, I'm like annoyed at how much I've fallen in love with Anthony Richardson at his ADP, but I just, I keep getting like a pretty good quarterback. And then I'll
Yeah.
pair him with like Anthony Richardson and Aaron Rodgers because Aaron Rodgers goes so late. And I'm like, that's just my prototypical safe and upside. I like how my team looks, but
So I prefer Daniel Jones. I just think that he's going to play more, and he's free.
yeah,
Compared to Anthony Richardson. Anthony Richardson definitely does have the higher ceiling, though. I will say that as far as like week winning potential, right? And then you said you go with Aaron Rodgers as well, so you're buying into late stage Aaron Rodgers Steelers, at least at their cost, which is for Aaron Rodgers the end of the draft.
yeah, he's just another guy I can hopefully get for cheap. Or like he's just another guy that hopefully can fill in when like I don't know. I added him with like Burrow and Kyler were like the two teams I got him with.
Okay, that makes sense. So just kind of some insurance at quarterback in case
Yeah,
something happens to both of them or what have you. Aaron Rodgers will at least put up points, right?
yep,
That's the deal there. All right, let's try this one more time. Brian, I'm sure you can see the screen, so let me know whenever
yep.
you're ready.
I'm ready when you are.
All right, 3, 2, 1. Let's see. Hopefully it works this time. Confirm. No, I'm still. Oh, nope. We got it this time. We're waiting for 4. What about you?
I did not get in, but I can try again.
Yeah, we're still waiting on 4. So you have a minute if you want to close out and refresh and whatnot. That was weird for a minute. I've never had that happen on a laptop when I've had the screen open for a while. Waiting on 1. I don't know if you'll be able
Yeah,
to get in this one,
probably won't.
but that's okay. We can definitely do a second one. Like I said, if we have time. Yeah, we're just waiting here.
A year in.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
I'll
we're
wait then.
starting. If you want to, well, we have the 12th pick, so that's interesting. If you want to try to work it out while we do this draft, and like I said, if we have time to do a second one, hop in the second one. But okay, so we have the 12th pick, which is an interesting spot because I like the back half of the first round because you can get a couple of really solid receivers or even an elite running back still after the first 4 go. Brian, you talked a little bit last time that you've generally gotten like the 7th, 8th, 9th pick and what have you. Have you gotten anything different, and have you tried to grab some different players as a result of that?
Yeah, I got 1. I got 3, which I kind of liked. Actually, 5 was the pick I really liked because
Mm-hmm.
I either get Saquon or Bijan or like one of the top 3 receivers. That was kind of my favorite team. I don't like Gibbs as much as the others. I don't know if he's going to have that major workload again. Could be wrong, but we'll see.
Yeah,
I haven't
5.
gotten 12 yet, so I'm curious how this is going to go.
12 is interesting. I like to, I mean, people try to get different around the turn just because it can kind of get so monotonous.
Yeah,
I do like the top 5 though. You said that the team that you had 5th was your favorite pick. The top 6 I think is really great because there is a clear 6, and you kind of just you're guaranteed at least one of them. Malik Neighbors went
neighbors
4th.
early.
Yeah, wow, we went 4th. I'm gonna try to see maybe if we adjust this a little bit. What do you think about this view? You think this is
Works
I
for
like this
me.
I like this a little bit better, I think, as well. Okay, so let's see. We've got Jefferson goes at 7. Neighbors at 4 pushes Jefferson down the board a little bit, and Barkley at 6. So both those guys outside the top 5.
Yeah, it would have been a fun time to have pick 5 or pick 6 or 7 just to have a new team.
Yeah, it's not terribly often that those guys get pushed beyond 6.
Genty's been struggling.
What are we gonna do here? I think I want to hammer Drake London here at the end, so I'm gonna pick him. And I'm torn if I want to go with Amon-Ra or one of the running backs, whether it be Achan or Derrick Henry. What do you think as far as best ball, and which one do you think would be better in a 10-second spiel?
I mean, I like A-Chain for he just had so much volume, but all of his efficiency went down. So like maybe he puts both together. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm with you. We can do Achan. I like to try to hammer him as well at this point. I'm trying to, now that it's the end of draft season, kind of trying to really hammer the guys that I like. Kind of call my shots and make my big stands here. And those are 2 guys I would like to up my exposure a bit more on. Now we have a nice long wait so we can see if any interesting combinations are made. You mentioned Ginty is struggling a little bit. He only played 1 drive. I think it was 3 carries for like negative yard.
Yeah, it was like a -1. That's scary. I mean, I don't know how good their offensive line is going to be. I haven't dug completely into that. For a first round pick, just playing in preseason's obviously not ideal. I mean, he's a rookie, so I get it, but then not even doing that well, it scares me a little. But I got him kind of early when he was like a second rounder, so I have him in a few. So I'm not too worried about getting exposure. He's a boomer bust guy that I don't think I'll have a lot on my teams.
More of just the concern about the Raiders' offensive line, which I get. Obviously it's 3 carries in a preseason game, so like we're not panicking that he's going to be terrible, but you would like to obviously see the guy drafted so high and sometimes in the back end of the first round here at pick 110, kind of perform a little bit more. But again, you kind of got to take it with a grain of salt, seeing as it is just a preseason. But I hear the hesitation, I guess, on taking him. And so the guy that went neighbors at 104 took Tyreek Hill at 21. Tyreek Hill, I think, is dealing with some injuries, and the guy that I'm really staying away from. How do you feel about the Dolphins after we took Achane? Obviously, we love his upside and his volume in that offense. But what about the pass catchers?
With Jonnu gone, I like A-Chain and Waddle way more. Because I feel like a lot of the times tight ends and running backs kind of share targets. They get like the dump offs. And then I feel like they're going to do a better job of getting their speedsters the ball. And I don't trust Tyreek. I hear rumors he might want to be traded. So I have also been just staying away, especially in second round. You could not find me getting him. I probably would have gone Chase Brown there, but.
Yeah, I like Chase. He's a guy that I want to. If I am, sorry, I adjusted my screen so we can see the whole board when I have it up. Chase Brown's a guy I want to get more of as well. He's kind of risen, I think, to probably his ceiling as far as going right. Like, I don't think I would take him over Jonathan Taylor. I just think Jonathan Taylor's too good. But I like Chase Brown a lot, and I like the Bengals offense. Let's see what we can work with. Coming along here, a couple picks left. Kyron Williams was still on the board, just signed a big contract. I've seen Breece Hall falling a bit.
I don't like him, but
you're not a big Breece Hall fan.
I think there's 3 running backs who seem to be getting they haven't paid him yet. I don't know if they will because they have Davis and Allen. He's just somebody I've kind of been steering clear of.
Okay. See, I like Breece Hall. I think I have like 15%.
I'd rather James Cook since he got paid.
James Cook did just get paid. I think I'm definitely going to go with Xavier Worthy here.
Yeah.
I love him. I just love him for best ball. I think he is a best ball player, just with his profile as far as, being the guy that's going to take the top off, have the big explosive plays. I don't see him as like a true volume target. And so I'm kind of trying to decide between Mike Evans and Tet McMillan.
You don't like any of the quarterbacks? They're obviously not going to fall again, but.
No, I'm going to wait on quarterback. I think I'm going to go. I probably should go Mike Evans. I guess I will go Mike Evans. I was thinking about going Tet. I thought I dragged him up just to differentiate a little bit. But I like Mike Evans with the week 17 correlation with Miami. I still think that's a fine pick.
Yeah, there's a new, I like to kind of be different, especially in a lot of my drafts, especially as the end of draft season comes. Everyone feels like everyone just kind of takes a strategy and goes with it. Last season, everyone was people kind of ignored running back and they went stud wide receiver high, and then the running backs kind of took over. But I also feel like a lot of that was kind of an anomaly. A lot of the wide receivers got hurt and the running backs didn't. And now I feel like it's kind of transitioning oh, no, I want to get my running backs. I mean, best ball is a little different. But I almost want to – this year I kind of want to go back to, all right, maybe we pound receiver early and see if I can just stack myself with rookie running backs. Last year, rookie running back didn't work out that well, and rookie receivers did. But looking at the draft class, the running backs were so much better than the receivers in this last draft class.
Yeah, this one for sure. Yeah, last year you're right. It was the top two were Trey Benson and Jonathan Brooks, and neither one of them had very good seasons at all. It was almost, as far as the rookies last year, if you didn't get for running back Bucky Irving or Tyrone Tracy late, you were probably better off just skipping the entire class. But I do like this running back class a lot. I also agree that spamming wide receiver early is not a bad thing. I think you can get some pretty good zero RB builds, especially I think from the back half of the draft. And we have Achane, but maybe we'll end up going with some sort of hero wide receiver build here or hero running back build. I wanted to talk a little bit about, because both of their ADPs are coming up, and since I have Mike Evans, we can start with Emeka Egbuka, the first round rookie out of Ohio State for the Bucks. He has been skyrocketing up the draft boards. I remember I was able to click him, and people probably clicked him even later than this, but I was clicking a ton of him when he was in the mid 90s. and going like 20, 30 picks after Chris Godwin. Now he goes before Godwin and here in the 60s. So I think the biggest question I have, because we might be getting there, is like how high is too high when it comes to drafting Emeka Egbuka?
I like the idea of him a lot. I mean, you have Evan, so I don't know if I'd do it with this build because I feel like a lot of that bet is the old guys are getting old.
Right.
I mean, yeah, Baker can handle more than one receiver, but like, I don't know if I want to have that on a best ball team unless I'm
Yeah.
just going Bucks heavy, then sure. But
Yeah, if I do go Egbuka here, it would almost definitely force me to take Baker Mayfield at 84, 85, which is not really a reach or anything, but kind of tough to lock in your quarterback that early, especially if he does kind of get sniped on you. Then you kind of really feel like you're kind of in a conundrum here. So I mean, are you taking him as we approach the clock? We'll just talk about the receivers here, like Devonta Smith, Jalen Waddle. Devonta Smith went. Like, are you taking him over those guys, Odunze, Olave?
I mean, I like Waddle.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Waddle, and then we'll have to.
And
try
then
to make
between
sure that we get
Pearsall and Egbuka, like it just kind of depends if you want to be super high on Tampa Bay or not. Like I don't think it's crazy here. I
gotta go with my guy Ricky. If it's Ricky Pearsall or anyone, the answer for me is almost always Ricky Pearsall. And he was the other guy I wanted to talk about as far as how high is too high to draft him, because he's a guy that we used to be able to click in the mid 70s. I even have some teams where I have him in the low 80s. And so I just picked him at 60, 61, the 5-6 turn. That's where I see him go quite a bit, as Emeka Egbuka goes at 63, so just 2 picks later. So it looks like we're on to something as far as he's going to be going up here.
Oh, yeah.
But I still, while I think that this might be Egbuka's ceiling as far as where I'm willing to draft him is this area, I'm still willing to push Ricky Pearsall up the board even further. I don't know about you or where your line is, but I would rather take Ricky Pearsall over, just looking at some of the receivers that went. I would take him over Devonta Smith. I would take him over DK Metcalf. I'd take him over Terry McLaurin. For me, I think it's once we kind of get to Sutton, Calvin Ridley, that range is really where I'll start to think more about if I want to take some more Ricky, or if that's the point where somebody else is a bit more valuable.
Yeah, I just don't trust that he's better than Juwan. So, because I think Juwan's kind of gone down just because he wants a contract. So he's playing the whole "I'm hurt, I'm not hurt, I just want to get paid" type thing.
So you don't think it's a real serious calf injury, and I have no idea. I'm just trying to gauge your thought process.
I don't know that much, and I don't have any inside information. These things tend to pop up, especially when people want to get paid.
Yeah, you're right. You're right about that,
So,
especially kind of out of nowhere, right? When it's like, oh, like, my back kind of hurts today, and then 3 weeks later, he signs a contract, and it's, well, my back doesn't hurt anymore.
Yeah, and I get it. It's good business by him. Like they need him now. With Ayuk out, they got rid of Samuel. Like they need both Juwan and Pearsall to be healthy at the start of the season. I just don't. Juwan was good. Like he performed. I had him on a team last year and just loved having him.
Yeah, he really. I mean, he was great for your fantasy teams last season. I'm not doubting that or denying that. I just have a hard time believing that a 4th or 5th year breakout on a career wide receiver 4, wide receiver 5 is something that is sustainable and I'm going to buy into long term. I think that Ricky Pearsall is just more talented. He's got the first round pedigree. I think he would have did better last year if he hadn't obviously gotten shot during the offseason. It kind of took him a little while to move to kind of get caught up to speed. So I'm all in on Ricky Pearsall this season. I don't think I have much of any Juwan Jennings. I just don't really believe in the talent, unlike you, who really believes in the talent. So,
yeah, we'll say one guy I've seen myself go after a bit more now is Jordan Addison. He just went.
I agree. He went at 77. He's a guy I've been clicking more. He's fallen slightly. I mean, he's going to come back. He's going to be good. It's not like he's coming off an injury. It's the first 3 games. Like I don't really know why he's falling.
Yeah, it's 3 games, and normally like people get hurt in the first 3 weeks, but like odds are injuries start to pile up a little later in the season. So like you have a bit more room on your bench to hold people, and like he scores so many touchdowns. I mean, his touchdown regression needs to go down, but I mean it hasn't yet. But you're on the clock here.
I know. I don't love Aaron Jones, but I think I'm kind of forced into. I need a running back. I'm thinking about taking Baker Mayfield. I was gonna honestly probably double down on the Vikings running backs, but Jordan Mason went. I think I'm actually no. I'm gonna pull Tyrone Tracy up the board a little bit. I think and get my 3rd running back. Feeling pretty decent. We've got 3 running backs now, 5 receivers: Achane, Aaron Jones, and Tyrone Tracy. And then the receivers are Drake London, Xavier Worthy, Mike Evans, Jalen Waddle, and Ricky Pearsall. It's definitely a much better receiver room than running back room, although we are anchored by Achane there, so you can't be terribly upset. Do you have a preference in the Vikings running backs? I know I said I was going to try to double up on both here, something that I like to do personally. But do you have a preference on which one that you're targeting this season in drafts?
I mean, I like Jones more. I just think the pass catching work makes him better.
Yeah, I think I lean Aaron Jones simply for the fact that the pass catching work is nice. He's still the starter. And
Yeah.
I know that everyone is talking about like, he's getting older and he was hurt a bit last season. And Jordan Mason was hurt for a lot last season too, right? Am I making that up? Like, did I?
No, I feel like he was because Guerrero had to come in. Like that whole running back room was just a mess.
Right. So it's not like Jordan Mason, then I'm glad my memory was correct. It's not like he's really been a model of health either. So I mean, I think that they both really should go back to back. I think that they're that close, but I lean Aaron Jones. He's still technically the starter. So
One thing I noticed myself doing in this, like around your range that you just picked, is if Mahomes falls to me, normally you can kind of double up on Mahomes Kelsey.
Yeah, so what,
Pretty
like
easily.
84, 85, or like this kind of
Yeah.
area?
And you just have that Chiefs stack, which, yes, Kelsey's old. He's not going to be the Kelsey of old, but like having that stack is still really nice, especially at the 2 onesie positions.
Yeah, it's a nice fallback, and Kelsey's no longer the sexy pick that he was. That I think last year he might have been a first round pick last year or 2 years ago. He was a first round pick in best ball
Definitely
drafts.
2 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah. So like he's not the sexiest pick, but I agree with you. It's a nice little backdoor stack if you aren't really feeling great about your options on the board. The Mahomes Kelsey stack can definitely give you some high end games maybe for one more year, right?
Yeah. And I feel like there's going to be a Mahomes bounce back soon for fantasy. Just like he's bound to have one of those, I don't know, 40 plus touchdown seasons again. He just has that talent. But I don't. Wow, Baker's still there.
Yeah, I noticed that. Like maybe we can go ahead and sneak Baker Mayfield back onto this roster. I was really interested in Mahomes. I might have taken him to stack with Xavier Worthy if he was there, but he went at 82 and we picked at 84, 85. Purdy goes off the board. The Godwin manager did not take. Yeah, I think we might end up getting Baker Mayfield unless someone wants to take him unstacked then. Or I guess the Egbuka drafter can take him at 106 with the next pick, right? But they just took Mahomes, so we'll see.
That'd be a fun guy to fall.
What was that?
So that would be a fun guy to fall.
Yeah, he just went, which is kind of a bummer. Now I'm kind of stuck. I don't want to take Darnell Mooney, and we'll talk about him in a second. Oh man. I like Rashid Shaheed. I'll probably take Rashid Shaheed. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to take Rashad Bateman. I'm going to go with the better offense.
You could have. I was
I
saying
still
the
have another
Caleb,
pick. What do you think?
Caleb and Loveland stack.
Oh, that would have been really interesting to do, especially with the bring back for Ricky Pearsall week 17. Man, that would have been good.
Yeah, I was slow on that.
No, that's all right. I'm probably just gonna go. I'll just double up on Cam Skadebo and just double up on the Giants running backs. See what happens. It's kind of an ugly part of the board. Had I been a little more cognizant, I guess, and a little less involved in conversation, yeah, that bear stack would have been pretty nice, right?
You get a few of your onesies, at least somebody in it, and then
Mm-hmm.
don't have to feel like you have to take it soon.
Yeah, and don't feel like you need to force like 3 onto the roster each, but that's okay. I mean, Rashad Bateman, I like Rashad Bateman. He's the wide receiver 2 for Lamar Jackson, who did just throw 41 passing touchdowns. So like they have to go somewhere. I'm likely I am definitely gonna stop on receiver for a little while. I think we've got some good ones. I cannot tell you how excited I am to click Michael Penix at our next 2 picks to stack with.
I've been doing him with Pitts.
Yeah, if Pitts is there, I might do just double tap that. And
those are I've noticed myself doing a lot of the like middle to late round QB tight end stacks.
Right.
Especially like a lot of them go in a similar range, like Pitts and Penix do. I mean, it's a little earlier, but Mahomes and Kelsey, and then even Caleb and Loveland.
Yeah. They definitely provide some nice value. They especially like if you're kind of running out of options as far as stacking and you need those positions, I think it's great value to do that.
Yeah, late round, I've also done some Cam Ward and Chig Okonkwo.
That's a good one too. I like that one a
desperate.
lot. Yeah, I like that one a lot. I want to see what the Tyreek Hill manager already has. Josh Allen. I'm thinking I want to get Tua on this roster because we have Achane, we have Waddle, we have Mike Evans to go with week 17. But I just don't know that he'll. So his ADP is 153, and we pick next at 156, 157 after obviously the 11-12 turn. And I just don't.
He's been kind of dropping.
Yeah.
From what I've been seeing.
He has, but sometimes what I notice is that the Tyreek Hill drafter will kind of go ahead and take him, which is a fine pick, and that's why I was kind of looking at their quarterback situation earlier, and they did take Josh Allen in the 3rd round, so maybe we can hope and pray they don't really want to prioritize a second quarterback and take Tua from us.
That's some value.
Yeah, Jenkins went at 124. His ADP is going to definitely start climbing up.
Oh yeah.
I did want to talk. I know we're a little bit past him now, but Darnell Mooney, he kind of goes with the conversation because we're talking about the Falcons because we're going for a Falcon stack here. We went from, I don't know if you saw the blurb in Underdog recently, but he is essentially he went from like, we are hoping to have him back for week 1, should maybe probably be ready week 1, to the coach said that he thinks Mooney will play at some point this year. Like that.
That scared me.
I thought we were talking like week 1, like maybe like week 2 or week 3, right? Like that would be okay. But you said at some point this season, that tells me that we're looking at something a little bit more long term. Is that how you read that? And what are you doing with Darnell Mooney? Because I'm a little nervous to draft him at this point now.
I was pretty high on him before all this stuff kind of came out, just because Penix likes to chuck it. Things I've heard about him are not to say he's Jameis personality, but like Jameis-esque of just like, let me grip it and rip it. Might be a bunch of picks, but also you'll have 300 yards, 3 picks, and 3 touchdowns.
Right.
Great when I have a wide receiver. There we go with that Falcons turn. But he's been scaring me. I'm still like seeing him being like, wow, he's dropped, but like trying to not click it just because he's like the perfect wide receiver too that just gives value.
I know.
But I can't anymore just because of the injury. And I have too much exposure to him previously. So I'm just trying to get out almost.
I'm with you. I'm at 20%. at the moment. Darnell Mooney, I'm sure that's maybe shifted slightly with slow drafts closing and a couple drafts I've done since last checking, but I'm about 20%, and I'm terrified. I am really kind of, unless he falls a lot, like I'm probably just going to stop clicking. I think I have enough for when he is healthy and playing, but I'm looking at other options at this point when it comes to Darnell Mooney, unless we get some positive news here saying that, it'll definitely be closer to that week 1, 2, 3. But that comment where a coach said he's confident he'll play this year, it's like, what do you mean? Like that's that's ambiguous, and that can
Yeah,
be
that's
anything.
scary.
Like so maybe he'll play what again? Like I said, week 3, or are we talking like week 10? Because there's a big difference.
Yeah, I mean, we'll find out pretty quickly on how late. That's basically if they put him on the IR or not, or the pup, whichever one, I forget. The
Yeah,
one that means you're out for 6 weeks.
I think that's the pup.
Yeah, so
Could be IR. I think IR is a few weeks too. There's season ending IR, and then there's like short term IR. So there's
yeah.
an infinite number of lists I'm sure they can put him on. Thank you all for tuning in. If you're watching us on YouTube, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. If you're watching us on X, we appreciate it. Hop over to YouTube. Make sure that you are able to get all of our content, all of our streams, all our videos. Are not always all available on the X platform, but they will all be available on YouTube. And Keenan Allen just went at 142. He's risen up draft boards a lot as well after he signed with the Chargers. Uh, he's someone that also kind of like not Ricky Pearsall, kind of like Darnell Mooney. I'm kind of done clicking Keenan Allen. Before he signed, I had 15%. I drafted them all in like the 16th to 18th round. And now that he's going in the 12th, I just don't feel the need to click his name anymore. I feel like I'm good. I've gotten my exposure at a good price. Like just time to move on to the next discount, right?
Yeah, I did the same thing. I have enough of him. I got him last 3 rounds just because no one wanted him because he wasn't on a team. Like,
Right.
I'm not saying, I mean, I feel like I spoke about this guy before, but like Amari Cooper is another guy where I think Keenan Allen's better, but he's another guy just last round. You want to take a shot. If he gets picked up, his value will go up. It's just how much, I don't know.
Right. So I've kind of stayed away from Amari Cooper. I think he's toast. But your point remains. Like it's these veterans unsigned, feel ugly. They're not on the team. They aren't what they were. Although I do still think Keenan Allen was good last season. He wasn't what we expect Keenan Allen to be, but I still think he was good last season. And so once they sign with a team, it's like they're easier to stack. And now all of a sudden you're thinking of all the possibilities, and so they shoot up and up and up. And so while it feels ugly at the moment, if your team's in need of a wide receiver and you're in the last round and you don't like any of the options, like just click the mystery box veteran that could end up in a good spot that's proven, right? So while Amari Cooper is not my favorite, like your point definitely remains true for that.
It's
All right.
like to me, it's just kind of like, all right, like this is an asset that will increase in value.
Yeah,
That's how I
exactly.
view it. Like that's it.
And that's what it is. Sometimes I think with best ball, and I'm trying to get better at this too. So it looks like we're one pick away from getting Tua. And then I'm also gonna go Algier. Yeah. We're gonna get Tua to stack. That's a nice little week 17.
Perfect.
And then Algier just need another running back. Fits the Falcons stack. We've got really good team. I think that we recovered really well after starting with 4 running backs and 5 receivers, 6 receivers even. I think we were able to recover really well, get 2 decent quarterbacks. And Kyle Pitts, feel however you want about him. The upside, I think, is still there. And I'll probably tack on 2 tight ends at the end anyway. So just to kind of give us some extra options.
Yeah, I guess what is your ideal build with 18 teams? I'm still getting used to the 20 versus 18. I still end up
Yeah.
with three quarterbacks, 3 tight ends, even though I probably shouldn't on both teams. But
So I think that's definitely a viable build. This is actually a great roster to potentially go 3-6-6-3, and that'd be the 3 quarterbacks, 6 running backs, receivers,
yeah.
and 3 tight ends. Just because we waited until the 11th round to address either position. So like this would be a good team to go 3-6-6-3. Although it kind of just depends on like what my other positional groups look like. Like I'm thrilled with the receivers. I'm okay with keeping it at 6. I would like to probably add a 7th, but if we only have 6, like I'm good with it. I
Mm.
think the running backs here, um, I just don't love outside of Chan. I just don't love them. So I might want to tack on an extra. I might go skinny quarterback here because I'm a lot more bullish on Michael Penix than I think a lot of people are. But I like to try different things. 2682 and 2772 are kind of like the standards. I like to do if I can only choose between going 3 for quarterback or tight end. I'll go 3 quarterbacks over 3 tight ends. I think it's a more important position because they score more points.
Yep.
And I mean, I guess that's probably it, right? Like they score more points as a position. It was like if you go without a quarterback for 2 weeks of injuries or bye, like you could get buried, right?
Yeah.
Whereas I don't feel that way with the tight end. I feel like if you don't have a tight end for like a couple weeks because of buys or injuries, like a lot of teams are only getting a handful of points from their tight end anyway. So that means that you've probably, hopefully, used a lot of earlier draft capital on different positions to make up for that couple points you're going to miss from your tight end.
100%. Because like a tight end 12 in a week could be 8 points.
It could be
like you just never know.
It could be 6 points, like exactly. Yeah. But the use of the tight end 12, right? It's like the quarterback 12 in a week is still probably going to be like 15-ish points, which is much more significant. It's over double or about double than like the 6 to 8 points your tight end in that range is going to get. So
yes, the volatility of like what's the difference in points from QB 12 to 20 versus tight end 12 to 20. That's kind of what I like to look at.
Yeah, I think it's probably, without having the numbers, I'm sure it's a much bigger difference.
Yeah.
Again, just because of the nature of the position and how many points they score, right? I feel like this draft is going really quickly. It's like every time I look, we're only a couple picks away. Okay, we can really go anywhere here. I love Rico Dowdle. You cannot get me to click Jerome Ford, so don't try it.
I like Roschon.
I don't really.
Because that Ben Johnson likes his 2 running backs.
Roschon is so tough for me. He's just so tough for me. I was all in on him. I'm going to go ahead and click Rico.
You know who I would tell you to get here?
Yeah, Anthony Richardson, right?
Yeah.
You know, I don't have any other options for a third quarterback. This feels like a third quarterback build. We'll go ahead and we'll do it. I don't take him too much. I honestly generally only take him when I have somebody else telling me to. So I'll take advantage of that. And plus, I can always add on. Let's see.
Alec Pierce.
Yeah, we can add Alec Pierce, and then we'll just go 2 tight ends, which is, I'm not thrilled with that being with Kyle Pitts being one of them, but we kind of already talked through this. Like, it's not the most important position in the world to have to worry about.
Yeah, to me, my whole Anthony Richardson thing is like, who's going to give me the biggest boom week out of any position at this point in the draft?
It very well could be Anthony Richardson, and I mean, I can't deny that. Even though I'm fading him, but like you're right. Like he gives you the biggest boom at this point of anybody of any position.
Yeah.
Unless obviously you can get like a handcuff running back that with an injury is going to explode. But like you're talking like doesn't need an injury. Like there's a world where Anthony Richardson does start 17 games if he doesn't get hurt. But like and at that point, like this is what the 16th round is a great price for a starting quarterback with his ceiling. Let's see. Alec Pierce just went. We can always stack him with Adonai Mitchell too at the end.
Yeah. Other guys I've kind of looked at where, at least in this range, I find myself going with one of those rookie tight ends.
Yeah, I like Mason Taylor a lot. He's kind of been my favorite in this range. He could end up being the second target for the Jets. He's fallen a lot because he had a high ankle sprain. But the Jets, I think, put out a clip the other day of him, running a nice route, making a nice diving catch deep down the field. So I'm not terribly worried about it. Although high
ankle sprains suck, but it's like people know how to recover from them.
Right. And I think that's the biggest thing. I'm wondering, maybe
because we're at 3662, right?
Yeah, we're at 661 at the moment. We've got our last two picks
Okay.
coming up here. Yeah. We got our last two picks coming up here in about 11 picks now. I'm wondering maybe I might just double up on tight end and just have unstacked Anthony Richardson. He's probably one of the quarterbacks that I think is fine unstacking because one, he's not a great passer, and two, like most of his fantasy production comes from his legs and on the ground. So like, yeah, I've been kind of thinking about that. I don't know that I want to leave with just Kyle Pitts and like an 18th round dart throw at tight end. That feels a little scary to me.
I mean, ideally Taylor falls.
I would love to get Mason Taylor and Theo Johnson
Dalton
or Jatavion Sanders. Like I'd be happy with.
Do you like the safe of Dalton Schultz, where you just know you're going to get somebody?
No, I'm going to pass on Dalton Schultz. I'm not a fan. That offense is so crowded, and Dalton Schultz has kind of proven that like he needs to be in an offense where like he's like the second guy, right?
What about an offense that sucks in New Orleans? Juwan Johnson.
Juwan Johnson's interesting. I'm definitely going to click Mason Taylor, so we're going to leave that one there.
I mean, I agree with the upside plays of the other ones. Sometimes I like to pair later a safer guy. I don't hate your move, but
oh well, I guess I moved Johnson up over Mason, so I guess we did go Johnson. I moved him up just a little too high. All right, well there we go. Debate settled. I think that you make a good point as far as like Mason Taylor was like an upside guy. So is Kyle Pitts. Juwan Johnson may be a little bit safer as there's a lot of ambiguity in the Saints pass catching roles. And there has been a report about Kellen Moore saying that he is going to get Juwan Johnson involved a decent bit. We've seen what he can do he can make the tight end a pretty successful position, even if the talent isn't the best. I mean, Juwan Johnson's a pretty good talent as well. So I'm fine with the pick there. I would have liked to have a little more conversation, but I moved him up the board just a little bit too far. But either way, I like this team. We did go 3-6-6-3. Michael Penix, Tua, and an unstacked Anthony Richardson. Devon Achane, Aaron Jones. We doubled up on the Giants running backs and Tyrone Tracy and Cam Skatebo. Tyler Algier and Rico Dowdle. The receivers were Drake London, Xavier Worthy, Mike Evans, Jalen Waddle, Ricky Pearsall, my baby, and Rashad Bateman. And then the tight ends were Kyle Pitts, and we wrapped up with Juwan Johnson and Mason Taylor. I think this is a good team.
Yeah, I like your kind of mix of safe and upside and receiver. That makes me that would make me feel better about just going with the 6 receivers.
Yeah,
and then you just shotgun approach the tight end. QB, I like the way your QB room looks, where you get 2 kind of middle tier, and then you get your upside play.
So you like the team. That makes me good. That makes me happy.
I'm not you might be able to convince me into it, but I'm not a fan of taking 2 running backs on the same team. But
I am. I think it's really interesting. And so I don't know if it's great for every offense, but I certainly like doing it. The Giants aren't like my favorite team to do it with, but I think
you mentioned the Vikings earlier.
Yeah. I really wanted to do it with the Vikings. That's going to be a high-powered offense. One of them gets hurt. You have the other one. Both of them can also pay off in the same week. Like, say there's a drive where, Aaron Jones, they're in they're trying to play a little bit of catch-up. Aaron Jones takes 3 or 4 catches through the air for, total like 40, 45 yards. They get down to the goal line, decide they want to put Jordan Mason in, pounds it in, boom. Like you've got, boom. Like both of them can provide value. But so with the Giants, let's kind of take a look at where the board went there. And I'm looking at the time. I don't know that we're gonna have time to get a second draft. And we've already kind of gone about 45 minutes. So we'll just kind of chat for a few minutes about the board here, and then we'll, I guess we'll just tune out and kind of see what happens next week. But so, I took Cam Skattebo at 109, which was right after my picks with Tyrone Tracy. I didn't really love the board and how it went there. Charbonnet went 104. As far as the running backs that went around it was really Dobbins at 102, Charbonnet at 104. And that was it for 2 rounds. And this Cam Skatebo at 109. So from pick 97 all the way down to pick 122 where Stevenson went, there were 3 running backs taken.
Yeah,
So,
there's so many quarterbacks in that range.
yeah, it really wasn't a great spot to need a running back. And unfortunately, that was kind of the position we were. It would have been really great if we could have got Baker to fall 2 more spots. He falls a fair amount,
It is
but
pretty crazy to see like that 9-10 range, 9-10-11 rounds.
Mhm.
How like it's maybe more than 50% quarterback tight ends.
Yeah, anywhere from I think you can even push it up to anywhere from like round 8 to round like 12.
Yeah,
I think just looking at kind of all like I guess
colors.
the colors, yeah, the colors here, it's a lot of quarterbacks and a lot of tight ends. And that's why I was talking with John a couple weeks ago. We were doing a stream and he likes to try to get an early tight end short of his running back room. So we started 4 receivers and he wasn't particularly thrilled about it at first. But then so I kind of showed him and we can run through it here too. Like you see all of the orange is the receiver, right? So you see all of the orange here in like the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh round, right? The seventh round starts to kind of cut out, but you see like there's a lot of receivers taken up here. And then once you get down like the seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th, and even beyond, you're not seeing a whole lot of orange, or you're seeing it in just little spurts where there's like pockets.
Yeah.
So I'll never be upset with going one too many receivers early because I think you can catch up at other positions fairly easily. Obviously, depending on how the board fell, I think we got a little shortchanged on running back, but I think we were able to kind of pull it in and make it a good enough team, a good enough room that as long as the other positional groups, especially the receivers, do what they need to do, I think the running back room will be all right.
Yeah, I tend to try to get maybe another better running back in between that A-Chain to Jones range.
Right.
And then
I agree.
I substitute it with like I don't know, maybe I don't have Mike Evans on my team, but I get a rookie wide receiver later. So I just take another flyer, another upside pick, just hope for the best.
Yeah, I know you mentioned that was right where we were talking about Brees Hall, who ended up going all the way down at 47, which I that's too far. Uh, but
I don't have Brees Hall anywhere.
yeah,
I
you're
don't
out on him.
yeah, I just don't trust it. I mean, I get that right there is too far. He's shown he has the upside.
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying though. It's not someone that you're really excited to click when you're drafting. Looking back at it though, I know you were saying you preferred James Cook after he got paid. James Cook went at 43. So maybe like in in a different world in hindsight, if you can just simply flip picks without affecting the board, which we know is impossible, like
Mhm.
maybe worthy James Cook, and then like instead of I guess going with a double receiver, no, I guess you would still go with the double receivers. Maybe at 84, 85, you kind of can get another receiver in there, right? If you go James Cook earlier and feel a little bit better about your running back room. Is that
Yeah,
kind
like
of
a Jaden Higgins is an upside play that you could have gotten in that
yeah,
round.
right.
Maybe and like for me, maybe instead of Tracy, because I just don't like the two running backs on the
Mhm.
same team, I'd go Higgins and then get Scatabo the next round.
Yeah, we definitely could have did that. We definitely would have been struggling with Scapo being our third running back. We definitely would have been struggling, especially in
Yeah.
that era. Like we said, there was 3 running backs in like 24 picks, if not more. Um,
There's
Hindsight's
just
2020, but yeah, James Cook might have fit this roster a shade better and kind of a little bit later of a receiver because we stopped after Rashad Bateman in the 9th round.
yeah, just the running back falls off a little bit. To me, running back falls off a little bit more than receiver does. I mean, receiver still falls off, but like you can get those guys who they're like they're going to have one game where it's 3 for 90 and a touchdown,
Yeah,
where it's like that plays.
right. No, I get it. And hindsight's 2020. I like slow drafts because you kind of get to think things through a little bit. But the fast drafts are always fun, make some quick snap decisions, and you've just got to play it out. But like I said, I think ultimately, I think it's a good team. It's probably not my favorite team, but I think it's one that definitely has a chance. Like it's certainly not a dead roster by any means.
Yep. I mean, that's the fun of it is we won't know until later.
Right, exactly. And the best part is we don't have to manage it whatsoever. And
Yeah.
that's why best ball has slowly become I think my favorite fantasy platform, or my fantasy format, I should say, really. Do you have, quickly, I guess we can talk about this and then we
Yeah.
can kind of sign off as we're at the 50-minute mark. Do you have a favorite format for fantasy?
I mean, like just season long auctions my favorite
Okay.
because I like my numbers and I like being able to get who I want. So if I mean, I'm an Eagles fan. There was a time where I was like, I just want my Eagles. I want AJ Brown. I want Devonta. I want Jalen Hurts, and like I can get all them. That was two
It's
years
much
ago when
easier
like it was
to.
hard to get them all. But yeah, with auction you can just kind of get who you want. I like that. I haven't done it yet, but I really want to try a guillotine league. Have you heard of those?
Is that where like somebody doesn't draft, or is that a
No, so
vampire league?
it's however many leagues you want, or however many people you want in the league. Each week, the lowest scoring team is out, and then their whole team goes to waivers.
Oh, so the
So
two
after
teams
week
at the
one,
end
one
are
team
like.
will be out, and then everyone starts bidding. Everyone has the same amount of fab, and then we just
Mhm.
start bidding on their players.
So when there's an odd number of teams left, does somebody essentially just get like a bye week, or that you just is there no matchups? It's just highest score to lowest.
I
It's
think
just
it's just
straight.
the lowest score is out each week.
Okay, so it's not like matchups or anything. It's just
I've
you're
never
essentially
played it. From what
you're
I heard and from what I've heard about it, it's just like you're playing against the league.
yeah, and you just have to not be the worst.
Yeah.
That's fun. I think we should try that. That
Yeah.
sounds
Because
really
then
interesting.
I think Yahoo just came out with it.
Oh, it's like a setting, so you don't have to just like manually do it
Yeah.
every week. Oh, that's cool. Uh, I've heard of vampire leagues too. I think where it's like you get like if you're like a 12-man league, you do 11 people draft, and
Mhm.
then the last person gets a team completely made up of the waiver wire. And then if you lose to that team, they get to steal a player off your roster, which is theoretically your best player.
Interesting.
Yeah, because I mean, we all know, like there are waiver wire gems at every position.
Yeah.
There's a couple of them. Whether gems might be a stretch for some of them, but there are definitely a couple that'll win you leagues, and there are definitely some that are just end up being solid players to have. That like if you just need points, like bye week fillers and stuff. So you could definitely probably build a pretty decent team off the bat, off the waiver wire, if you're doing it right, and you just obviously you have to be right on your
Yeah.
takes. But I always thought that was kind of an interesting league format to try as well.
Yeah. I mean, I enjoy just like something different. I have my like long-term auction league. We have one keeper in it. It's you get to keep the guy at $10 plus your previous season value.
Okay.
So
So
it's
at a
like you kind
certain
of try.
point,
Yeah.
you're like, this is too much.
Yeah. So it's like you get priced out if you hit on a rookie receiver in like 3 to 4 years,
Right.
and then you
Kind
just
of
kind of keep going. That's
kind of
been a fun one.
keeps the players shuffling around a little bit. As I know, I'm in a
Yeah.
couple of keeper leagues, and it's a bit harder to get some movement on the elite guys because everybody wants to keep them, right, like for their whole career. So that makes it interesting and shuffle around a little bit as far as like who's on what team and stuff. Do
Yeah.
you
And I
do
feel like
any?
with
Go
keepers,
ahead.
it's like it's there. You don't want it to be a dynasty league, so you have to kind of find that in between of I get to keep one or two people, but my
Mhm.
team will change, and like it's keeping that balance of this isn't a dynasty and this isn't a redraft, but like the fine balance. It's hard to kind of find that balance, but I feel like we have it at least in this league. But
Yeah, no, that's cool. So I'm in a keeper league where we keep three,
yep.
which I think is a good number as well. You kind of have like your core
Mhm.
three that you want to build around, and then your team around that changes every year. So I think three is probably I think four could be okay, but once you get beyond keeping four, it almost feels like it's more of a dynasty league than like a keeper redraft sort of deal, which I think is the point of keeper specific leagues is like you said to kind of like change things up and make sure your teams aren't stale and whatnot.
Mhm.
Do you do? I wanted to ask you one question, and then we'll get out of here. Do you
Yep.
do any auction dynasty drafts where I guess like just like the rookie draft would then be like auction style? Because I've never done an
No.
auction draft. I've always thought they were interesting. I'm kind of intimidated, to be honest.
In like a dynasty auction or just a regular auction?
I've never done any sort of auction for fantasy, but have you
Auction?
done? My question for you was, have you done a dynasty auction league?
I haven't for football.
Okay, basketball
Like
you have.
basketball, I've done like a startup where the startups auction, and then it
Okay.
keeps you at like a salary cap.
Oh, so you salary cap league. That's also intimidating to me.
And that I love that. Like that is my favorite fantasy league I ever play.
You said you like numbers, so
Yeah.
that
And like
tracks.
my job is pretty much budgeting outside of this. So
Oh, yeah, so that tracks.
yeah, and my thing is like it makes somebody who's like I'm trying to think of just like a random player who's Hunter Henry.
Okay.
If you were to
Oh,
get him at like $1, that would be one of the steals of the league because you know he's a startable asset at $1.
yeah, that feels great. He's solid late round,
Yeah.
shotgun approach to the tight end. Yeah, he's great.
But like then you have people who will spend like way too much. Like somebody would probably spend way too much on like an Ashton Genty if we were to do a startup now.
Yeah.
And it's like you just seen how those values stick, especially in a salary cap league where you have rookies coming in at like the set value each year. You have to kind of turn over your roster. And if one guy's a little too expensive, you have to get off of him and let him hit free agency and hope for the best.
It's always interesting hearing the different strategies of different league formats and styles of playing fantasy football. Maybe one day I'll have to try an auction league. Like I said, it's a little intimidating, but I'll have to grow up and be a big boy one day and try it out. Maybe next year. Maybe next year will be the year. Brian, if you want to start an auction league with me next year, we can maybe
Yeah, I mean, we can do one in our sports ethos community. I think we could definitely get one going. It's a little bit longer, so you have to be seated and watching it. So
yeah, maybe next year that's something we can talk about because we're
Yeah.
kind of getting close as far as planning for your league drafts, right? We're already on August 14th.
Yeah.
The second, technically third week, if you want to count the Hall of Fame game, right? We're in the second, third, whatever you want to call it, week of the preseason. So drafts are definitely getting underway. So yeah, we'll talk about it, especially if you need a little more time for auction drafts. We'll talk about that next year. Brian, it was a lot of fun. I appreciate you coming on
Get
again.
in.
You had so much fun last week. You texted me and said, "Hey, I'm available this week if you need me." I said, we're getting Brian. We're getting him into the best ball streets. We're getting him.
I'm available next week too.
Hey, maybe we'll have you on again next week. Shame you couldn't join us today. Some technical difficulties, but I'm glad we at least got to fire a draft off and got to talk best ball, chat players, chat about players, blah, blah, blah. So thank you again. Maybe we'll see Brian next week as well. You've been listening to Fantasy NFL Today, a Sports Ethos production. Thank you so much for tuning in, supporting us, supporting our work. You can do that on sportsethos.com. You can also follow us at Ethos Fantasy NFL. Got it right first time. You can follow me on Twitter X at AQFresh. Brian Shade is at Shade_fantasy. Thank you all again, and good luck with all your drafts.